Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Maybe you woke up today wondering why your life still feels stuck. You have prayed, waited, and kept believing, yet some things still have not changed. And if you are honest, you never thought you would still be in this place at this point in your life. I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Psalm 27:13. If your heart is tired of waiting and your future feels uncertain, remember this. A long season does not mean God has forgotten you. Jesus is still with you, and your story is not over. So open your heart and bring every burden to Him as we pray. Jesus, as I come before you this morning, there is something I need to admit because I have been carrying it quietly for a long time. I never thought I would still be in this place at this point in my life. I thought certain things would look different by now. I thought some prayers would already have answers, and some burdens would no longer be sitting on my shoulders. I thought I would have more peace, more direction, and more certainty than I have today. Instead, I find myself waking up with some of the same worries, some of the same questions, and the same feeling that my life has somehow stopped moving forward, and I do not know what to do with that feeling anymore. Sometimes I look at my life and feel disappointed in ways that are difficult to explain. I believed my finances would be in a better place by now. I thought certain family situations would have improved by now. There were problems that I never imagined I would still be praying about, and fears that I thought I would have already overcome. There are mornings when I sit quietly and wonder how I ended up here. I do not ask that question because I have lost my faith. I ask it because this season has lasted much longer than I expected, and my heart has grown tired of waiting for something to change. There are days when I look around, and it seems like everyone else is moving forward. People are reaching goals, starting new chapters, and seeing doors open in their lives while I still feel like I am standing in the same place. I know that comparison can steal joy, and I know that every person has a different journey, but there are moments when it still hurts. There are moments when I quietly wonder if I missed something along the way or if I made mistakes that placed me here. There are moments when I become discouraged because I cannot see what you are doing, and I quietly wonder if I will always feel this stuck. And sometimes what hurts the most is realizing how much time has passed. Another year has gone by. I am older than I was when I first prayed some of these prayers. There are dreams that I carried into this season that still feel unfinished, and there are hopes that I thought I would have already seen by now. Life keeps moving forward, calendars keep changing, and seasons continue to come and go. But there are moments when I look at my own life and wonder why I still feel like I am standing in the same place. That thought can be painful, Jesus, because I never imagined I would still be carrying some of these same burdens after all this time. I do not say these things out loud very often. I usually keep moving. I keep working, smiling, and taking care of my responsibilities. I answer questions with a simple, "I'm doing okay," and continue with my day. But you know what is happening beneath the surface. You know there are mornings when I wake up already feeling heavy. You know there are nights when I lie awake thinking about my future and wondering if life will ever feel different from this. You know there are moments when I become exhausted from carrying worries that nobody else can see. There are even moments when I become tired of explaining this season to myself. I keep trying to stay hopeful, keep trying to trust that something good is still ahead, and keep reminding myself that you have a plan. But there are days when my heart quietly asks if I will ever feel different from this. There are days when I become afraid that I will spend too much of my life waiting for something to change and miss the joy that is right in front of me. I do not say those fears out loud very often, but you already know they are there. Jesus, I think one of the hardest things about this season is not simply that I feel stuck. It is the fear that I might still be here a year from now, carrying the same burdens and asking the same questions. It is the fear that I will keep hoping and waiting while nothing around me seems to change. Sometimes I become afraid that I am wasting my life in this season of waiting. Sometimes I become afraid that I am falling behind while everyone else is moving forward. And sometimes I become disappointed with myself because I thought I would be handling this season better than I am. There are moments when I feel embarrassed by where I am in life. I thought I would have accomplished more by now. I thought I would be further along by now. I thought I would have more answers than I do today. Instead, I find myself coming back to you with many of the same concerns that I have carried for a long time. There are moments when I become frustrated because I do not understand why this season has been so long. I try to trust you, but if I am honest, there are days when my heart feels weary from waiting. And yet, even as I say these words, there is something comforting about sitting here with you this morning, because I know I do not have to hide any of this from you. I do not have to pretend that I understand everything. I do not have to act like this season has not affected me. I do not have to hide my disappointment, my fears, or the quiet sadness that I carry. You already know all of it. You know every prayer that I have whispered, every tear that I never talked about, every fear that wakes up with me in the morning, and every burden that feels too heavy for me to explain. That is why I came to you today, Jesus. I did not come because I suddenly have answers. I did not come because I finally understand what you are doing in my life. I came because I am tired of carrying this season by myself. I came because I do not know what to do with this disappointment anymore. I came because I need to know that you still see me here. I need to know that this season has not been forgotten by you, and that my waiting has not been meaningless. As I sit quietly in your presence, I realize that the thing I need most this morning is not an immediate solution. More than anything, I need your nearness. I need to remember that even in a season that feels stuck, I am not abandoned. Even in a season that I do not understand, I am not alone. I may not know why I am still here, and I may not know how long this waiting will last, but before this day begins, I want to place my disappointment, my confusion, and my fears in your hands. Because if I am going to keep walking through this season, I cannot do it with my own strength anymore. I need you to stay close to me in the waiting and teach my tired heart how to keep hoping when nothing seems to be changing. I need you to sit with me in this place that I never expected to be and remind me that even here, in this long and confusing season, my life is still in your hands and my story is not over yet. Jesus, as I sit here with you this morning, there is another truth that I can no longer hide from you. I am tired of waiting and seeing so little change. I know that waiting is a part of life and a part of faith, but I never imagined that waiting could become this heavy. I never imagined that I could pray for something so long, carry the same concerns for so long, and still wake up some mornings feeling like I am standing in the exact same place. I have tried to stay hopeful. I have tried to keep trusting you. I have tried to keep moving forward, but there are days when my heart quietly asks, Jesus, why does everything still feel the same? Some mornings I wake up already tired before the day even begins. Not because my body lacks sleep, but because my heart has been carrying this season for so long. I carry responsibilities that do not stop. I carry worries about my future. I carry concerns about people I love. I carry prayers that I have been bringing to you for such a long time that I can hardly remember when some of them first began. There are moments when I feel like I have been walking for miles without seeing any sign that I am getting closer to where I hoped I would be. Jesus, there are days when I feel like life keeps moving while I remain standing still. Another month passes. Another year passes. People around me step into new opportunities, celebrate answered prayers, and move into new seasons of life. I try to be happy for them because I know their blessings do not take away from my story. But if I am honest, there are moments when it still hurts. There are moments when I quietly wonder why I still feel like I am carrying the same burdens and asking the same questions after all this time. I never thought I would still be here, and sometimes that reality becomes difficult to accept. There were days when gratitude did not come easily, yet I still thanked you. There were mornings when prayer felt difficult, yet I still whispered your name. Even when my heart felt discouraged, I kept showing up because I did not know what else to do except place another day in your hands. I have not completely given up, Jesus. I am still here. I am still talking to you. I am still bringing this weary season before you, even though I do not understand it. There is still a small part of my heart that believes you see me, and that you know how heavy this season has become. And what makes this season so exhausting is that life does not pause while I am waiting. The bills still need to be paid. The responsibilities still need my attention. People still depend on me. Decisions still have to be made. I still need to smile, work, and keep going, even on days when I feel emotionally worn out. Sometimes I become tired of carrying so much responsibility, while also carrying the disappointment of seeing so little movement in the areas of my life that matter deeply to me. There are moments when I feel like I have spent so much energy trying to stay hopeful that I do not know how to keep encouraging my own heart anymore. Jesus, there are moments when I become afraid of hoping too much. I have hoped before. I have believed before. I have looked forward to change before. And because some of those hopes still remain unfulfilled, there are days when I quietly protect my heart from disappointment by expecting nothing at all. I never wanted to become this cautious. I never wanted to become afraid of hope. But long seasons of waiting can slowly wear down a person. They can make someone afraid to dream, afraid to expect good things, and afraid to trust their own hopes again. I miss the version of myself that used to wake up with excitement about the future. I miss looking ahead with expectation instead of uncertainty. This long season has made me more cautious than I ever wanted to be. It has taught me how to survive difficult days, but sometimes I worry that I have forgotten how to dream again. I do not want disappointment to become the loudest voice in my heart. I do not want waiting to slowly convince me that nothing good is ahead of me. Deep down, I still want to believe that you are leading me somewhere beautiful, even though I cannot see it yet. I still want to believe that these long and difficult days will not become the entire story of my life. Jesus, sometimes I become tired of being the strong one. I become tired of carrying responsibilities while my own heart feels heavy. I become tired of acting like I am okay when I quietly feel discouraged inside. There are moments when I wish I could simply put down every burden, stop trying to figure everything out, and rest in your presence for a while. Carrying uncertainty for a long time changes a person. It slowly drains their energy, steals their excitement, and makes them afraid to expect too much from life again. I do not want to become that person. I do not want this waiting to harden my heart or take away my ability to believe that you are still working in ways that I cannot yet see. There are even moments when I wonder if all this trying even matters. I keep praying, keep working, and keep doing my best to move forward. Yet there are days when it feels like all my effort disappears into the same unchanging season. That thought can be discouraging because nobody wants to feel like they are pouring so much of themselves into life and seeing so little movement in return. There are days when I feel like I am surviving instead of truly living. I go through my responsibilities, answer people's questions, and keep doing what needs to be done. But inside I feel emotionally drained from trying so hard and seeing so little change. Even now, as tired as I feel, I cannot shake the quiet belief that you are still here with me. That small piece of faith is the reason I am still talking to you this morning. It is the reason I am still praying, still hoping, and still bringing my weary heart into your presence. I may not understand this season, and I may not know why it has lasted so long, but something inside me still believes that you have not forgotten me. Jesus, perhaps that is why this question keeps returning to my heart. If you are still here, and if my waiting is not meaningless, then why has this season lasted so long? What are you trying to teach me? What are you doing in a place that feels so still and unchanged? I do not ask those questions because I want to walk away from you. I ask them because I want to understand you. I ask them because I am tired of guessing and tired of trying to make sense of this season on my own. Somewhere beneath all this weariness is a heart that still wants to trust you, but no longer understands what you are doing. And that question is becoming too heavy to carry by myself anymore. Somewhere deep inside me, there is a question that refuses to go away. Why has this season lasted so long? I have carried this question into quiet mornings, sleepless nights, and countless prayers. I have tried to make sense of the delays, the disappointments, and the unanswered questions, but I still find myself standing before you with more questions than answers. Some answers still feel far away. Certain doors remain closed, and this chapter of my life has stretched far beyond what I ever imagined. And if I am honest, Jesus, there are days when not understanding hurts almost as much as the waiting itself. I wish I could say that I have handled this season perfectly, but I have not. There have been moments when I became frustrated because I wanted answers that never came. There have been moments when I quietly wondered if you had forgotten me. I know I am supposed to trust you, and deep down I still do, but there are days when my heart feels confused because I cannot see any clear reason for why this season has become so long. Sometimes I think I could keep waiting if I only understood the purpose of the waiting. Sometimes I think I could carry these burdens more easily if I knew where this road was leading. But uncertainty is difficult because it asks me to keep walking when I cannot see where I am going. Jesus, I have spent nights lying awake, replaying moments I cannot change and asking questions I cannot answer. I have looked back at old decisions and wondered if I missed something important. I have thought about different paths my life could have taken and imagined what things might look like if certain doors had opened or certain prayers had been answered sooner. I search for explanations because I desperately want this season to make sense. Yet after all the thinking, all the replaying, and all the questioning, I still wake up carrying the same uncertainty. I still stand before you with the same longing to understand what you are doing in my life. There are moments when your silence becomes difficult for me. I keep praying, keep listening, and keep hoping that something will become clear, yet there are days when heaven feels quiet. I do not say that with anger. I say it with sadness because I want to understand you. I want to hear your direction. I want to know that I am not walking through this long season without purpose. I want to know that my waiting means something, and that these long months and years are not empty chapters of my life. Sometimes the silence makes me feel small, and sometimes it makes me feel lost because I do not know what I should hold on to except the simple belief that you are still here. One of the hardest things about this season is that I cannot see the purpose in it. If I could understand what you were doing, perhaps the waiting would feel easier. If I could see where all this is leading, perhaps I would not feel so discouraged. But uncertainty can become lonely. It can make a person feel like they are walking through a fog that never seems to lift. There are nights when I lie awake, wondering what the future will look like, and whether this season will ever feel different from what it does today. There are mornings when I wake up carrying the same questions I went to sleep with, and after holding these questions for so long, my heart has become weary from trying to understand things that still do not make sense to me. Jesus, I also struggle because I cannot see the ending of this story. If I knew that this season would change next month or next year, perhaps my heart would rest more easily. But not knowing how long this waiting will continue can become exhausting. It is difficult to carry uncertainty without a timeline. It is difficult to keep trusting when I cannot see what lies ahead. And sometimes I become tired not because I have stopped loving you, but because I do not know how much longer my heart can keep holding unanswered questions. There are moments when I feel emotionally worn out from carrying so many things that remain unclear to me. At times, I ask myself why my journey has taken so many unexpected turns. I thought I would have more answers by now. I thought I would feel more settled and more certain about my future. Instead, I find myself carrying questions that seem to have no easy answers. There are mornings when I realize that I am still trying to understand things that I was struggling to understand months ago. And that realization can become exhausting because I never imagined confusion could stay this long in my life. Yet even with all these questions, I am still here. I am still talking to you. I still want your presence. Maybe my faith does not look strong this morning. Maybe it looks like a tired person sitting quietly before you with more questions than answers and more uncertainties than confidence. Maybe it looks like someone who has cried in private, someone who has smiled in front of people while secretly feeling confused inside. But I am still here, Jesus. I am still praying. I am still looking toward you because somewhere beneath all this confusion is a quiet belief that you have not abandoned me. I cannot explain it, but I still believe you are with me in this long and difficult season. I think what has exhausted me the most is trying to carry questions that were never meant to be carried by my own understanding. I have spent so much time worrying, replaying memories, imagining different outcomes, and searching for explanations that I have become emotionally tired. I have carried questions that I cannot answer and concerns that I cannot solve. I have spent nights searching for reasons and mornings, trying to make sense of things that still feel confusing. And after all that thinking, I find myself here in your presence, realizing that I do not need to have every answer today in order to be held by you. So this morning, Jesus, I place my questions in your hands. I place my confusion, my disappointments, and my need to understand everything in your hands. I place every unanswered prayer, every fear about my future, and every hidden frustration before you. I still have questions, and I still wish I understood why this season has been so long. But I am tired of trying to figure everything out by myself. If understanding cannot come today, then please give me something even more important. Give me the peace of knowing that I do not have to carry my questions alone. Stay close to me in the middle of what I do not understand. Teach me how to trust you in the middle of things that still do not make sense. And remind my tired heart that even when I cannot understand your ways, I can still rest in your presence, because I would rather walk through an unexplained season with you than try to understand everything without you. As this prayer comes to an end, I realize something that my tired heart has been slowly learning through this long and confusing season. I may not have all the answers I wanted. I may still have questions that remain unanswered and concerns that have not disappeared. I may still wake up tomorrow with some of the same responsibilities and some of the same uncertainties. But after all the waiting, all the disappointments, and all the questions I have carried, I know one thing this morning, Jesus. I am not walking through this season alone. You have been with me on every difficult day, that I thought I would never survive. You have been with me on the nights when I cried quietly and could not explain what I was feeling. You have been with me on the mornings when I got out of bed, even though my heart felt heavy. You have been with me during the days when I smiled in front of people, while secretly carrying burdens that nobody else knew about. There were moments when I felt forgotten, but you never forgot me. There were moments when I felt abandoned, but you never left me. There were moments when I thought I could not keep going, yet somehow I am still here. And I know it is because your hand has been holding me even when I could not feel it. Maybe this season has not been empty after all. Maybe you have been doing something in me that I could not see while I was looking for change around me. Maybe you have been teaching me to depend on you more deeply than before. Maybe you have been strengthening my faith in quiet ways that I did not recognize. Maybe you have been teaching me that peace cannot depend on circumstances always changing, and that hope cannot be built on everything going according to my plans. I still do not understand everything, but I no longer want to believe that this season has been meaningless. If you have been here with me, then even these difficult days have not been wasted. Jesus, I bring before you the questions that still have no answers. I place into your hands the fears that keep returning to my mind and the disappointments that I have carried for too long. I release the future that I cannot control and the pressure of needing everything to make sense today. I bring you the expectations that were never fulfilled and the burdens that have quietly exhausted my heart. I do not want to keep carrying these things as if everything depends on me. My heart has grown tired from trying to hold together what only you can hold. So I place it all in your hands and ask you to carry what I no longer have the strength to carry by myself. Teach me how to live with hope again. Teach me how to wake up tomorrow without fear owning my thoughts. Teach me how to keep expecting your goodness even when I cannot see it yet. Teach me how to trust that you are still writing my story, even when I cannot understand the chapter I am living in right now. Teach me how to believe that this season is not the end of my life, and that these difficult days will not have the final word over my future. I want to stop measuring your faithfulness by how quickly things change. I want to stop believing that you are absent simply because I do not understand your timing. I want to remember that there have been other seasons in my life that I once thought would break me, and yet you carried me through every single one of them. And if you were faithful then, you will still be faithful now. The same hands that carried me through my past pain will also carry me through this present uncertainty. The same Jesus who stayed with me in my darkest nights is still beside me today, even in this season that I do not fully understand. I do not know what tomorrow will bring. I do not know when some prayers will be answered or when certain doors will finally open. I do not know how long this season will continue. But maybe I do not need to know everything about tomorrow. Maybe all I need today is enough grace for this moment and enough strength for the next step in front of me. I have spent so much time trying to see the entire road that I forgot you often lead us one step at a time. I do not need all the answers before I trust you. I do not need every fear to disappear before I follow you. I simply need to keep my hand in yours and believe that the same Jesus who carried me yesterday will also carry me tomorrow. There is something peaceful about admitting that I cannot see the whole picture and that I do not have to. I only need enough light for today and enough faith to take the next step with you. Jesus, I want to stop fighting battles that belong in your hands. I want to stop carrying tomorrow's worries before tomorrow even arrives. I want to stop trying to solve every unanswered question and control every uncertain outcome. This long season has taught me something important. I am not strong because I have all the answers. I am strong because you have remained faithful even when I had none. I have survived this far not because I understood everything, but because your grace has carried me one day at a time. And if your grace has brought me this far, then I believe your grace will continue to carry me through whatever still lies ahead. Jesus, I also pray for every person listening to this prayer who feels stuck, weary, and confused about life right now. Remind us that we are not forgotten. Remind us that delayed answers are not signs of abandonment, and that long seasons are not proof that you have stopped working. Help us believe that even in places that feel still and unchanged, your hands are still moving in ways we cannot yet see. Give us courage to face this day, patience to keep trusting, and peace that protects our hearts from fear and discouragement. When we become tired, strengthen us. When we become discouraged, comfort us. And when we do not understand what you are doing, help us rest in the truth that your love for us has never changed. I may still have questions when this prayer ends. I may still be walking through a season that I do not understand. Some prayers may still be unanswered, and some burdens may still remain. But I will leave this moment knowing something that my tired heart desperately needed to remember. I do not walk alone. You are with me. You have been with me in every painful day, every sleepless night, and every fearful thought about my future. And because you are with me, I can face this day with hope. I can keep walking one day at a time. I can keep trusting even when I do not understand. My story is not over. My waiting has not been meaningless, and this difficult season will not last forever because my life is safely held in the hands of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, I receive your peace, I receive your strength, and I receive the grace to keep walking forward with hope in my heart. Thank you for staying beside me in this long and confusing season, and for reminding me that even when I cannot understand your ways, I can still trust your heart. In Jesus' name, amen.